So, there has been a lot of talk in the media recently about British bias, about stewards being biased, about the press having an agenda against Max Verstappen, and a lot of Verstappen's critics have well and truly been shut up after the last weekend, let's be real here, in terms of his overall talent. Something that personally I have never doubted, but I understand that a lot of people have been down on it, saying that, well, he can't win a championship cleanly, can he? That's been a general kind of criticism of Verstappen. And Max had a bit of fun with all this in the press conference after the race as well. In the cool down room as it was after all the podium celebrations and everything, he spoke to the press alongside Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly, who excellently got a double podium for Alpine. And he basically said, I don't see any British media here. Have they all gone to the airport? They all left. Which was pretty funny, actually. Pretty funny. But there is something I discovered actually recently. A little post on social media about this, which this article may have on the F1 Chronicle or not. I'm not sure, but I'll tell you about that at the end, if not. But let's read out this article here, because the British press has hit back at Verstappen. And when the British press hits back, you know about it. They don't show much mercy normally. Even to our own guys. But again, that's another story for another day. But let's have a look at this article here. So, prominent British journalists have hit back at Max Verstappen's insinuation of clear bias in their reporting and coverage of Formula 1. After his impressive win from P17 on the grid in Brazil, amid hefty criticism of his driving style in recent weeks, the triple world champion noted that the British media appeared to have boycotted the post-race press conference. He said they had to run to the airport, or they didn't know where the press conference is. Will Buxton, a well-known broadcaster for F1 TV, called it a cheeky post-race dig at UK press. He explained that he hasn't been to a post-race press conference in years, as a broadcast journalist are busy in the paddock at the time, which makes sense. They've got, like, for him, for example, they've got like the immediate paddock live reaction thing, whatever it's called. So if you're British, then a Lewis Hamilton, Lando Norris, George Russell in the top three probably gives a bit of sway to being there, but not always, Buxton added. David Croft, the lead commentator for Sky F1's UK coverage, agreed. Sometimes there's more to a story than just a soundbite or a chance to attack people for perception of British bias, he said, also commenting on Verstappen's post-race jibe. For me, as it's a press conference for written media only, I never attend, no matter who's who. Who's won, Croft added. Thursday press conferences are different, they're for broadcast and written media together, just to help people understand. That's correct. In fact, I've been to the British Grand Prix as written media twice, which I'm very proud about, and I show off every time I get a chance to, because it's a very proud moment for me for sure. But it's absolutely right. The Thursday media day is for everybody basically. There are press conferences, and for the British Grand Prix anyway. It probably might be different for other races, but might be the same as well, to be fair. But the Thursday events are for everybody pretty much, but the post-race stuff is for written media. The broadcast media, they'll be broadcasting, doing live stuff just outside in the paddock or whatever, doing immediate reaction. They won't go to the post-race press conference usually. It's not usually for TV. Back in the day, I think it was different. I could be wrong. It did seem like the press conferences after races was something that were always broadcast on TV. I swear I remember the old BBC and ITV coverage used to do that in the UK, but I might be misremembering it because it was a long time ago, unfortunately, back in those days. But yeah, in general, that's what it's like nowadays. You won't see that many broadcast media in the actual press conference after the race, unless something controversial happens, like the protest of the British Grand Prix in 22 when I was there. That place was packed after the race. Lando Norris doing really well, and I think Lewis Hamilton got a podium in 23. It was pretty busy in there, but if it wasn't for that, it would have been half empty probably. Dutch commentator Olaf Mol is unconvinced, stating on Ziggo Sport that the Sky guys really think they are God. Verstappen's father and co-manager Jos has also been highly critical of alleged pro-British bias recently, declaring to De Telegraaf newspaper after the Brazilian Grand Prix that they, the British media, are keeping their big mouths shut for now. Max has shown that he is still the very best. After all those people shouted that he should change his driving style is perfect. Even that first lap in the rain, in which he gained 6 places, he is just always perfect in those conditions. Jos Verstappen had even called out fellow former Formula 1 driver Johnny Herbert by name, insisting that someone who serves as an FIA steward should not be publicly criticising his son's driving. This week, Herbert hit back. I understand that Jos sees it that way because he is concerning his son, but I have always said that I am Johnny Herbert, the steward and the professional on race weekends, and outside of that I am Johnny Herbert, the analyst who says what he thinks. Why am I not allowed to have an opinion when I'm not at the track? interesting. I don't think it's particularly smart from Herbert to go and criticise publicly. Personally, that's just my opinion, but he has a right to if he wants to. But he also has to face the consequences of his actions when it comes to that. So yeah, I mean, there was a post I saw. I don't know if I've got it on me actually at the moment, but basically there was a post I saw on Twitter from one of the few journalists that was there. He also said there wasn't any Dutch media in that press conference. Apparently there was one French journalist, there was Tom Clarkson, there was the camera guy, and a few local press. That was it. There was no Dutch media in there either. So do the Dutch media not care that Verstappen's won? No, of course they care. It's massive. But these post-race press conferences are not. They're either not what they used to be, or they're not what people think they are. They're not as big as what you would imagine they are in terms of all the people there and stuff like that, because the broadcast media aren't there. The written media is different. You know, I mean, again, I don't know, maybe perhaps the BBC, you would expect them to be there from the UK, I don't know, but they've got other priorities. There was no British driver in there, so why would they be there? If Max wasn't in there, would I expect the Dutch media to not be there? Yeah, to be honest. And Max was there, and the Dutch media weren't there, apparently. So, again, it's reading into things. It's Verstappen taking a little quip at the media, for sure. I mean, what he said was not wrong. There was no British media in there. But, yeah, to make it into this big British bias thing, I don't know. I think that's a bit much, to be honest. But what do you guys think? Is there a British bias in the media in Formula 1? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, because I've seen quite a few thoughts in the comments below on this. A few people are saying that there is this clear bias and it's unacceptable and stuff. So have it out in the comments. I'm staying out of it. Let me know your thoughts though. I do read every comment that comes through on the F1 Chronicle. So yeah, we'll see you very soon, guys, for some more F1 news, reaction, and everything in between here on the F1Chronicle.com. Like, share, comment, subscribe, ring the bell as well, and we'll see you very soon. Have a good one.